cordless, 18 volt, the usual LXT stuff that they do. And yeah, and it's a DSS611 for those interested. It's in pretty good cosmetic nick. There's a bit of scuffing across here. There's obviously a little bit of scraping on the sole, as you might expect, but it's got a very good little saw blade in it. And yeah, I can certainly improve this, and provided I can get it working, it'll be a good buy. I bought it second hand. I did know it wasn't working at the time, but well, I'm hoping I can fix it. Okay, first job then is actually get this saw blade off. This is quite a nice trend saw blade. It's quite a fine pitch, and it feels razor sharp, but it has got a little bit of buildup of sap and stuff like that behind the teeth, so it does need taking off and cleaning, because you don't want to leave you don't want to use saw blades that have got a lot of sap built up behind the teeth, because they get hot and then they tend to burn even more sap on, and it just accumulates and becomes more of a problem, and it makes it more and more difficult to cut. We want these things to cut through like a hot knife through butter. So so clean the blade regularly. That's the thing, and you can make your own cleaning solution, which is what I do, and I will throw it in there. So that's my first job. I'm going to take the blade off. That way I won't accidentally injure myself while I'm testing this as well. Blade off, and of course that's clockwise to take it off. Okay, and this is just a homemade blade cleaner. It's been used quite a lot. It's I don't know how visible that is on the camera, but it is pretty dark in there from the several blades that it's cleaned previously, but hopefully it'll have enough strength left to just do this one. So let's get the battery plugged in. I have just charged this up and tested it on another device. It's absolutely fine. And yeah, completely dead. Nothing there at all. It does feel quite hard to turn, but that's always difficult to judge because they have very strong magnets in them. We can take a look at the brushes. That'll be an obvious first thing to just check. So this is how we get at the brushes. It's pretty straightforward. We've got two plastic caps that come off and fall on the floor. So we take off the plastic cap and it reveals the end of the brush. I just need a little screwdriver and I can kind of pop that forward, and yep, there we go, we're out. Okay, and that doesn't look bad. Should be a line on it. Yeah, there's a line on it, and it's nowhere even close. These are some brand new brushes. Let's just compare and see how they stack up. So there's our new and old next to each other, and I would say there's only like a millimetre difference between them. So I'm happy it's not the brushes. I might just replace them anyway. That way I know that I've got brand new brushes in there and nothing to argue about. These are much tighter fit than the ones that came out in terms of fitting the contact in. There we go, lovely. We'll just give it another test again, of course. If this fixes it, this is going to be a very short video. No, it didn't. So I'm going to keep these because to me they look like they've got 1 millimetre used up on them. So I'm going to keep these for future. And now we'll look at some more things. So a useful test is always to just check across these two battery connections, and these are the two outside ones. If we look on the battery, we can see they are marked somewhere. We can see they've got two deep slots and they're marked positive and negative. So we'll turn a multimeter, and of course it doesn't have to be an expensive one, it can just be any old rubbish. We'll turn that to ohms and we'll put them across the battery, and that measures open circuit. Now I'll try and there we go. So I'll close the switch and we get a reading 43, 44 ohms, something like that. Now I don't know if that's a right reading or a wrong reading or what, but it immediately begins to narrow things down. It kind of looks like the switch works. It looks like the battery terminals work. So they're beginning to head towards, there's not that much more to go wrong. There's obviously some internal connections. There'll be a controller buried in here, and of course there's the motor itself. So let's open it up and see if we can see anything else of interest. handle goes all the way round. And we need to remove all of this side of the handle. There's also some screws to come out, that's fine. A few of them double up and also secure the motor, although it has a separate screw back here. But this is going to be in the way. So let's lever this off and see. There you go, that clip comes out very straightforwardly. This then pops off. Before we do that, let's just loosen it off and we'll undo it. So this is actually a bolt that passes right the way through and goes onto the bracket that holds this slide together. So there's just a bolt on the other side of this, like a coach bolt tucked away in here, and this is the other side of it. And like many on here, it's reverse threaded. I'll turn this up this way and get these screws undone. And these ones are sort of coarsely threaded to go directly into the plastic. So we just have to be cautious when we put it back together to make sure we don't end up cutting additional threads. Okay, all those are out. And the side comes off and we have really good access now. So this is excellent. So we can see, if I offer up the battery, this side here, the white is the positive, and the black is the negative. So the white comes up here to the switch, and then the switch is very simple. It's just got, it's just an open closed switch. Then on the other side we've got two red wires coming out, and one of them is going off to this controller unit, and the other one is going directly to the motor. From the negative is running just to the controller unit, and then we've got a negative coming out the controller unit that goes via this connector to the motor. So that's a lot. So we've just got this we've just really got this controller unit in the way, and all of this wiring looks absolutely solid. It looks absolutely fine, which is a great shame. And I'm literally just going to stick this normal screw terminals on here. So I'm going to stick my multimeter in here once again, just on its continuity or ohms setting. We'll push the button and that's that switch tested. We're okay with that switch. Try not to disturb this stuff here because there's some springs and stuff. This is a manual interlock and it's kind of, a load of springs and stuff. They're a bit awkward. And a slight smell of burning on there, to be honest. Now, there's no way to repair this because it's a potted unit. So I'm just going to replace that. And that has to be my suspect control because I've replaced the brushes. I know the switch works. I know this contact at the back works. I can see that the wiring is all intact. I could just test to make sure that these wires go through onto the brushes. We can just test them with our ohm meter again as well, just to be sure. Switch it so we can hear what's going on, although I suspect the resistance might be too high. We'll connect one on the positive, stuff it in there. One on the negative, and there we go. There's our resistance from our motor. So yeah, we've definitely got good contact. The switch works, we've got contact all the way through to the brushes. So the only thing left then is this controller. But here we go. These are not cheap, they're about £20. But unfortunately, because they're potted, you can't really get in there very easy. Now, when I've taken this faulty one off, I will see if I can gain access, because that would be quite interesting. So in the meantime, I've basically got to just replace one with the other. Part-wise, I've got exactly the same part. So it's an absolute direct replacement. So I've got it in and I'm just managing the cables. There are little cable guides molded into the handle. So just getting all fitted. And then let's take a look at the old module before I try it out. Right down there, I can just see the top of a screw. Hooray! There it is. So we can see the edge of this TO220 just here. So I finally got it out. So I'm just, there's already some sign here. I've pulled away some of the plastic, and oh boy, look at that. So this is the TO220 package. This is the big transistor that drives the motor. And oh yeah, the back's just come off it. And if we look at the front of it, you can just see it's completely blown itself apart. So yeah, so it's ripped itself apart. I can't really get at the rest of this circuit, but there's no need to. It's very clear that presumably this saw has stalled or something like that, and this pass transistor, probably an IGBT or a MOSFET or something like that, has literally taken the brunt of it. So yeah, what a mess. Wow. So I'm just going to loosely place this on. Okay, so I think that's okay. Everything seems to be feeling like it's joined up right. We'll plug it in. Beautiful. Yep, like a new one. So its sound levels aren't too bad. It's pretty good. I'm happy with that completely. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to reassemble this. I'm going to wipe it all clean as I go. This is quite scuffed over here, so I might think about touching that up at a later date. If I do, probably what I'll do is I'll mask off this bottom curved section and just respray that top section. But yeah, let's first of all just see how it turns up with a bit of alcohol and a bit of TLC. So, and yeah, here's our blade. It's come up very, very nicely, very clean. Feels very, very sharp indeed. So no need to sharpen that or anything like that. It's looking quite glossy because I do actually give it just a little coat of a PTFE based lubricant and protectant just to make sure it doesn't go rusty, because it has been in quite a caustic chemical, of course. So this thing does have a little built-in, just here, it has a little lever which activates, and that locks the spindle so we can easily tighten and loosen everything. So I don't like to over tighten the blades. I do want them fairly tight because I don't want it slipping, but it will tend to tighten itself. And so for my final test, I'm going to just go and do a quick test cut. And there we have it, one completed repair, even without doing a final bit of cosmetic work on here. This is looking absolutely great. I'm really, really pleased with it. It works beautifully, cuts like butter, and it's like it's got a brand new blade, almost like a brand new blade on it. And all the adjustments work very nicely, very smoothly. Makita is a very, very good make. And yeah, you can get the spare parts and the blowed out, the exploded diagrams and all that sort of stuff very easily for it. I'll put links in to show you where I used. Quiet as these go, this is a nice quiet saw as well. Doesn't sound quiet in the workshop, of course. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, leave some comments. See you soon. Bye for now.